Get your favorite health tips right here on U24. Maintain your kidney by drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water each day. This can be in form of soup, tea, water, cooked grains and boiled vegetables.
Hello, my name is Erica Murunchi and welcome to Be Inspired by Erica. So today I want to talk about personal hygiene. Personal hygiene is not just a habit, it is a way of life. By maintaining personal hygiene, you will reduce stress, improve on your focus, show respect for yourself and others around you, to the people around you. Take care of your space and your life. Keep your room tidy, wash your hands, cut your fingernails, comb your hair, brush your teeth, and many others. Take care of your space and your life. Brush your teeth, make your bed, bathe, cut your fingernails, comb your hair, and many others. Make cleanliness a habit. Personal hygiene should be a priority. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Stay blessed. Much love. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Doreen Tuhidire, coming to you from Be Money Wiser, and we're going to be bringing to you the hashtag 100 Ways to Be Money Wiser by Mrs. T. Tilda Nabandra. We're going to be running.
Don't miss on U24.
Entrepreneurs Hub, giving you a deep and unique insight into agribusiness, services, ICT and innovation, industrialization and so much more. Entrepreneurs Hub, growing your small, medium,
Youth of Purpose. Youth of Purpose. Youth of Purpose. Youth of Purpose. Youth of Purpose.
A very good evening, and you are welcome to Youth of Purpose right here on U24 Television. And my name is Cheslin Avonda, hosting this episode. We do have an amazing team today, but also an amazing topic. We are still in the Women's Month, which is March, and every day we continue to celebrate women. We continue to say we are so proud of you doing amazing things, but also we hope to realize that is it a steady progress where we need some changes here and there. And of course, joining me is a very special team. I do have with me Honorable Diana Kampe and Peye. I do have with me Tracy Tukunda Mary. I think I've now mixed up the the format of the name, but yes, and I would love them to say hello to our listeners, to our viewers, and then we get it started. And I'll start with you, Diana. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Chrislyn.
Yes.
And thank you, UB4, for the platform, for the young women. And I'm very obliged to be here this evening with my sister and you. Thank you. have women. You will see that at least 46% of the cabinet, they are women. You cannot count up from number 1 up to number 7. Yes. The biggest people in the country, you will see women. So Uganda is really doing great. If we are to talk of affirmative action, they've really done well when it comes to that article. So I really am proud to be part of the women or among the young women.
If there was no opportunity of the affirmative action, it was going to be hard for the young people in these different villages, parishes, sub-counties, constituencies to at least stand the confidence to come out and join these political spaces. So I believe this affirmative action has actually given chance, but at least has given chance to these young people to know that at least they have the capacity to stand out there and represent their people. So most of the people actually who have been running for these positions have been mothers. To go for the bare minimum, but at least aim for higher, not just the female affairs that is put on their table. That is a straight path. They should actually also aim for a little bit more positions. So I feel like yes, we appreciate the 2011 constitution carried on the affirmative action, but it shouldn't stop there. I feel like to me as a young girl who has faced the barriers of outside affirmative action, I feel like it's the bare minimum. We still need to do a little bit more that will encourage these young girls to actually get the confidence of, wow, I can even run for a direct.
Of the real number of women that vote for the direct positions or women member of parliament. And also when you go for the political side, before I go for public and all civil services and all, the political world for women is actually very intimidating and scary, in that even when you just wake up and show interest and all, the first thing will be like, not attached to any kind of any benefit. Like right here, we've seen you work over and over. So tomorrow, if you're the director of UBC, it shouldn't be a surprise. You didn't sleep with anyone. You worked for it over years and all. We've watched you. So the whole problem should be noticing, a lot of orientation, a lot of sensitization to the young people, such platforms to come and show them that you young women have something to get something. You don't have to. If you are the voter, you don't have, and this is beyond voters, this is the stakeholder thing. Then when it comes to the voters, the main thing that fights women, like my sister said, is actually women. Like if you come through, let's say from like my district where I come from, you come direct for direct position, they'll be like, there is that of woman, we can't be led by a woman up there, and then, but they are both for us. So we need a lot of sensitization to our very women to show them that you have the right to be here, you have the right to be the director here, or you will even find that some organization, like in public services, one is like, that one is, the head is a woman. I think I don't want to deputize a woman. Why not? So me, I believe all we need is, we need a lot of mindset change as women, as a generation, and as a country. With these inductions that they do, we need special inductions for women in leadership to show them that yes, it's okay to work with a woman, it's okay to co-direct with someone, it's at work, and some are spiritual. And also, I feel like the biggest point is about mindset, how we change as a community or as a country. We need to change our mindset of how we see women in leadership, and then we need to protect women in leadership. Financially, we have given birth, and they'll be like, that one has going to give birth now. They are not, performing like, but we need to be understood that yes, I can still give birth and still be a director. I can still give birth and be a minister. We've seen them be pregnant and they deliver. So we need all that kind of mindset training.
Amazing. When you talk about protection, I think for me protection stands out, especially that we are running under the theme give to gain, and So women must be given protection if we really have to gain this and that. But let me get to you, Tracy. And I'm talking about affirmative action in a space where we have had women representation, particularly on positions like national female members of parliament, and you have a structure or a constituency that is supposed to vote for the same, but only at 37% composition as female. 63% are male in that constituency. Do you think that has an influence or an impact on the results that we get? And if it is yes, affirmative action, then if we are looking for a representation that has a larger number, more than the number that we intend to benefit from that position, what would you say on that?
Depending on what I've understood.
Yes.
First of as we are voting for the National Female Youth Member of Parliament,
yes,
I believe this person is going to represent both male and female. So I think yes, it might articulate the position, but at the end of the day, the delivery does not only go to the females, it goes to both male and female. And now this goes to my point I earlier said. There were few chairpersons who were voters in the National Youth Council. There were few finances that were females in the National Youth Council. When they were setting these positions, they did not say finance and chairperson should be only male.
So let me ask you shortly on that.
Yeah.
Do you think that affirmative action, particularly for women, is actually working, or has it made women to stay comfortable within the affirmative action itself?
Exactly. Just like I said in my earlier presentation, it has the moment women go to hear that there is affirmative action, yes, they are comfortable. They are not lifting their heads high.
Yes.
Even us who are supposed to mentor, we're actually feeling like this is comfortable. Why don't you run for this? Instead of provoking the young girls, provoking ladies out there to go and run for these positions. So I feel like there is something that has not been done. Just because the affirmative action is there, we feel like, wow, we have this. Why are we now running? Why don't we leave men to join these positions? But there is no one who has
Youth of Purpose.
Through university politics, but now transition to the mainstream politics, and particularly not on an affirmative action seat into parliament. How has the journey been like? But also, what representation does it put out there?
I've been, you know, since it's March, we are celebrating women the whole of this month. I've been seeing quite a number of discussions, you know, on this particular issue of affirmative action, on this particular issue of the directly elected seats. And I want to say and be very honest, for me, this journey has been one of the hardest.
Yes.
Because one, I'm a young woman, but a young woman contesting on a seat that people believe is predominantly for men. That's what people believe. But I mean, that is the predominant narrative as well. So I really want to say that in this country, there are very many women. There are more than 100 women who contested for the directly elected seat, but hypothetically, let's say 100 contested. But I want to tell you that not more than the cultural norms. I want to tell you, I give you a simple example. In Vura, I remember one time they were writing a registration sheet. On the registration sheet, they put woman member of parliament, then they put Member of Parliament, male MP. So under male MP, they put my name, Lenia Charity Kevin. So they believe the directly elected seat is for male. That concept, that narrative is still there. It made the journey very difficult. We celebrate the progress as a country.
Yes.
I want to thank so much our president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He has given us an opportunity to prosper, to progress as young women in leadership. Very important. That's why you see we have leaders that we can emulate, give examples of, right? But as young women here, honestly, we still have so much to do to help other young women to take up these leadership spaces easily without overproving a point and overproving yourself to say, I can manage, I can do it, please give me a chance, right? Thank you.
Amazing. Maybe a next question before I get back to Diana and Tracy. Motivation.
Be woman MP of Nsingiro, of Mbarara, of Yumbe. Why? For me, why I wanted to be MP, directly elected seat, was because of the gaps.
Yes.
The leadership gap and the meaningful representation that we needed as a community, as Bora. That is why I contested. I shared a manifesto. I offered my vision that I had for my community. And I believe that every woman out there who contested has
even the young women, is if you get a chance, like my sister Lenia is already now a direct member of parliament, the best give back or the best gain she can be to Vura and many other young people is for her to get out there and be for them. The biggest challenge we are finding in our fields is our seniors who are supposed to be our light and show us the way, actually they block us.
Yes.
Like you will never say, like we've just shelled some of them here. Like you find that one is a prime minister, one is a speaker, one is, yes, a deputy prime minister, one is a member of parliament, but they would rather associate with a boy than even a girl. First of all, there is that insecurity around them. Yet in actual sense, tomorrow you would be the very person to empower them if they empower you. Like for example, in my race, everyone knows that the people that were fighting me were female member of parliaments from my district. So you find that all we need in this, patriotism is not something that one injects you. Yes, we can go under any induction or orientation, but it still comes back to you, what you believe in, the service, what you deliver, what the legacy you want to leave behind as a woman. And also, I still find the problem comes back to you as you, not the people who elected you, because first of all, lately you will find that people are not even electing you with all the high, voter bribery and all. In the 5 years, for her, she's saving to go and buy votes. So people are just buying that daily bread, not your services and all. But I keep telling people there is that day when we shall go to God and we have to answer. Some things we just can't control. We just can't control, because if someone has been sent there 4 times, or they are sending themselves there 4 times, and in the same community they have children, they have cousins, they have grandchildren, but they've not even put a hospital or a maternity room for any woman from that community. I don't know if I'm answering you very well. I still find that the problem is still us who have attained these positions, and we are looking at for God and our stomachs and our inner nuclear families, not our country, not our communities, not
opportunities. Now you'll travel out of the country. You have a platform, probably you are they're given like 3 slots to go out of the country, and they will show you that they will make sure when they have another opportunity, they will not feel like, I've been to Tanzania like quite twice, let me pull Lenia to go there and at least, explore, because we need to explore these things and we shouldn't be excited when we get to these positions. So these people make sure they are the ones to keep on pressing such poses, and we know them, we know examples. That's the beauty with spaces and these different environments. So I believe that we don't even have to first see people get into these, they are appointed as commissioners, they are members of parliament. We can see these people when they are still young fruits. And I believe personally in the study I have, and at the end of the day, it comes to people like, except politics, what do you have on plate? if you have not, you do not have an education career background, you do not have anything, you feel like your eyes are focused on politics. At the end of the day, you do not feel like you should leave this position. You're obsessed with the position, and you feel like every after a year you should go back, you should go back. And me, I still re-emphasize on the women who earlier on the International Women's Day, Honorable Julia Muhumuza was on a platform and was telling these ladies who are telling the young girls, you people should carry on these positions. And she was like, you are the same people who are fighting us. You're the same people who are fighting us, who are running for for National Youth Council, Female Affairs. What about direct member of parliament?
Interesting. So, let me cut you short up there. And you somehow make a rejoinder to what I had wanted to ask Lenia, that sometimes when women are running for these positions, let's say woman member of parliament, you're going to be asked, where is your husband? Where are your children? Are you married in church? Do you have a job sometimes? And as a young girl who did not have a family, who did not have a husband and children, do you think that it somehow made your work easier? Because I also know there are responsibilities that have to come, especially with women having to balance work, balance family and all that. Do you think that it made your work easier, or do you think that even if you had had them, your work would have still been made easier for you to be able to win?
Starting from the last one, it really depends on the kind of family that you have. Are they supportive? You know, you're going to get a husband who is not supportive, and at the end of the day you're drained. You'll get a family that is supportive, and at the end of the day you're rising, right? But I also need us to understand that in Uganda, some of our areas are still extremely conservative. We need to understand the political terrain that we are in. I come from an area that is still very conservative. You know, they respect tradition, they respect culture, and you can't blame them. And one of the barriers that are, you know, that has become a barrier to women in leadership is actually culture norms. The reason I'm saying you can't blame them is because that is how the society grew up. But it is our responsibility to have civic education, to sensitize our community that even if I am not married, even if I do not have kids, the question should be my capacity and potential to lead, service delivery and impact. Because at the end of the day, that is what worked out for me. I gave examples. They would say, she doesn't have a home, she's not married. I would go back to the men. I tell them, one, the men are married. In fact, they have very many women. They have homes. Why are you people still suffering? Why don't you have clean water? Why don't we have good hospitals? Why is our education poor? So that shows you that my marital status has nothing to do with service delivery in the community. They are completely parallel. They do not connect. So at the end of the day, it should come back to my service and my purpose, my vision. And I want to tell you that there are communities that have started, you know, embracing this. They will tell you, share your vision with us. It does not matter whether you're married or not. So for me, I think at the end of the day, it goes back to community sensitization and how you talk to your people. By the way, let me tell you, the people that we think are illiterate, we cannot undermine the knowledge of the masses. For lack of a better word, the people we call villagers remote, those people are the most intelligent. Just like the way you would say, never undermine the words of a drunkard. That is how our people are. At the end of the day, if you get to explain to them, for me I did, and I really want to thank them, they understood that. But yet again, I want to tell you that it comes to family balance, just like the way you asked me. Me, I used it as an opportunity. I told them, one, I don't have responsibilities, I don't have a husband. When I go to Kampala, the only people I think about is what? Vura. So it became easy. I don't have to think about husband, child, relative, you know, because you do not have responsibility. Actually, they should be happy that I am not yet married, because when I get married, it is husband, children. But right now, everything. Vura, vura. You understand? It's actually easier. We should start looking at girls who are not married. They will work more. Leave alone. Marriage can stress. I've not been there, but our mothers, we have seen them. Not so?
Yes.
You have to balance the both, so it also becomes very difficult. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. And I think from what I pick is the fact that sometimes you might see something as a challenge, but you can actually use it, turn it the other way around.
It becomes an opportunity.
Yes.
Even your age, because the age was another problem. I am young, I'm unmarried. But remember, when you're younger, you have energy. You know, you can move from village to village.
Yes.
By the way, with age along, you get tired. You will find this gentleman who is 60 will move to like 3 villages and get tired. I, Lenia, from 6 to 7, I have surrounded all of them. That is an advantage for you as a young person. The different energy that you come with, you know, the vibe that you come with to speak to the women, and the knowledge that you come with is equally different as well. So some of these things are really very important. Something that people look at as a disadvantage for you, it might work out for you as well. Not so. So I think some of these things we need to critically study them. We need to be very strategic as well. And most of all, Diana has spoken about being very spiritual. It's very important to pray. Let's understand our purpose. We have a self-reflection on ourselves. We sit down with the Lord, and you know, a praying woman is a winning woman. For me, that is that's very important for me as well.
Amazing. Let me get back to you, Diana. And there are so many women who contested on different positions, but perhaps were not able to make it as they expected. And how do we bring them on board, or how do we, let me now speak to you directly, how do we continue the service? Because I do hope and believe that you had a good manifesto, and also with your centered agenda, you hoped, or you still hope, to carry along as many youth and women into maybe from one step to another. So how do we now tap into those spaces, into those resources, but also into that knowledge that you had and the aspirations, even if things did not turn out as expected?
Good enough, you've used me as an example.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that have been disturbing me this period, because it's not only me, like you said. Even we shall start with the youth structures. You find that we have around 73 young people in Runyankore, that someone who has gone outside before you, they know something. So someone who has at least traversed a region, or a whole country like me, or a whole constituency, or a whole district, there's something they carry that is better than someone else. So there's something that NRM used to do. I don't really know what happened these days, that is called card identification. So to me, instead of sending someone who is really fresh, just because of nepotism, favoritism, because you know them, because they can manage, because you know the district chair, the whole region. So to me, if there is anything they can do for these people, it is to identify them. If there is if you need a cow at a district level, there's that member of parliament who failed. Yes, they did fail. They learned something that they can put into manifestation. So these people, they have a following of, they go back to sensitize someone, they will listen to them, because at the end of the day, they supported them. So to me, the best thing they can do in this season to these people who learned, instead they didn't win, but they also didn't lose, is to identify them and then employ them and send them to also go and be voices, maybe in different sectors. Yeah, to me, that's the best they can do.
So what about on an individual basis, as a Diana, and maybe as a Treslin who ran and was not able to go through? Do you think there are still some opportunities, or there's still something that we can work along or be able to contribute?
Well, I am someone who doesn't believe only in politics.
Yes.
Because I believe you can still be a leader beyond politics, exactly. And all. Wherever you are, you can lead. So one thing I can request my fellow young women, or even women, that is not the end of it all.
Yes.
Because first of all, I believe by the time you got out of your comfort zone, you are doing something. Or even when you wanted to become a member of parliament, you are not just going to represent, you are planning to start something. You can still start that initiative. Don't just sit back and lose it and be like, yeah, my life has ended and all. At the end of the day, we can collaborate with very many other different people at an individual level and do something. And then at the individual level also keep connected. I kept telling young people that one of the reasons why we still face this, I don't know why I should run as a national female youth MP and next time come to run as a national female youth MP or a member of parliament in my constituency, and then I still have to spend the same. What happened to the relationship?
With the community.
You know, I believe in love being the greatest of it all, and believe love comes with a relationship building. You know, like he said, these people that she said, you know, sorry, I'm calling you because of the position you carry. So like she said, these people that we think actually are money-minded, they're human beings. You just have to talk to them and show them, here I am here to love you. They will love you. So stay with your people. Just because you didn't make it, because next time you might come in the same constituency. You might find you're even very connected to these people more than the person who passed, because for her she's planning, for you you're building. So my appeal to them is to stay connected to their people. And people can even vote for you without money. I saw it in my primaries. We didn't have as much money, but we made it. So I believe, we just have to stay. I believe in power of a relationship, power of love, power of being intentional. Just be intentional. Not only with those people, also with yourself. What you can, stay on track. What you can't do and be like, this field has failed, go and do something else. Just don't pull out.
And also, sorry to interject, for me, I believe that losing an election does not measure your degree or your capacity to serve and lead. In politics, there are so many aspects of winning an election. You may find someone is very capacitated to lead, extremely brilliant, they are strategic, they bring so much to the table, but at the end of the day there are those nitty-gritties, those small aspects, and you find somebody losing an election. But we cannot lose such a brilliant mind, just like she did, just like she mentioned. But again, at the end of the day, for me, I am a victim of losing an election. So honestly speaking, I know what it means to run for an elective position and you don't go through. By the way, it is very depressing, especially for our young women. I want to be very honest, and I must commend Diana for her strength and courage. There are people who wouldn't even want to appear for any media, you know, actually they don't want social media at all. They're going to hate themselves. But when you have self-worth, when you know what you're capable of bringing to the table, she's a very brilliant leader. I've shared so much with her, and for me, just like you said, the NRM should not forget its people. These people that ran through elections did not go through, not because they are not capable leaders, but because of those small aspects, you know, people fighting you here and there, east, west, north. At the end of the day, I mean, we can engage the president of this country. We have young people doing brilliant work. Can we get spots for them here and there? We don't want to lose those brains in this country, much as they could put it in they could put their energies in something that builds their community as well, so that they don't lose touch with the community. But it's also very important, you know, to bring them back, to engage them. For me, it is one of the things that I personally want to do. That is, if I get a chance, you know, to meet the head of this country, it's very important to share these aspects with him.
Amazing. I wanted to go to Tracy, but since you already got the microphone, let me ask you then get to Tracy.
Okay.
The aspect of feminization of poverty, or the whole aspect of women's economic barriers, as a reflection into now the politics and the position that they run for. I know very many women who would fear to say that member of parliament has been in that position for some time, meaning they have the resources at hand. And the reality is, you need the resources,
of course,
although you might not need as much as the range might be different from one another. You as a young person who had just left university, how did you manage to perhaps
gather resources? You know, how did you manage? Because we would love to know. These are things that keep scaring many women.
Honestly, when someone asks me that question, I've laughed because I can only imagine how hard it was. I want to be very honest. One of the barriers for women in politics is financial constraints. Very, it's very evident. And the truth is, you need the resources to facilitate the election. You need the resources. You need fuel once in a while. But anyway, for me, who did not have a car, I need fuel to put on that border to run and look for votes in the constituency. You understand? So for me, at the end of the day, one, I want to talk about my region. Diana will say this. She will testify to this. I don't know how other regions are when it comes to money, but I want to tell you that my region is very authentic. I need to tell people I was one of the poorest candidates in my election. That is the honest truth. Yes, we needed the finances. I would lobby here and there. For me, this is a small technique I could share with the women. I made a list of all the friends I had in this country. It didn't matter who it was. You were on my list today. If I called Diana for fuel, tomorrow I'm calling Joel for fuel. The next day, you don't know what it means. So you needed to be very resilient and determined. It's hard, especially when you've not had a job, especially when you've not worked. But I reached a point and the women in the community were giving me money. They started collecting for me, fundraising for me, because of the vision I had, because of the connection I shared with the locals. You make research. How many people have won elections in this country and they didn't have money? They have won ministers. They beat people who had bunches of money. And now people are becoming aware. You're going to themselves. When you're in Arua, they want a good leader who will deliver service. Honestly, yes.
Amazing. I don't know if Bushenyi would.
Let's not go there.
Would do the same. But also, you challenge me on so many things, and sometimes you see things with one side of the coin, but there's usually another side of the coin. In Bushenyi, women were soliciting money and giving to an independent candidate for woman member of parliament. But when it came to voting, people did vice versa now. Now they are looking for money from the other candidate, and it's been disturbing my mind. How do you solicit fuel? How do you give this candidate cows? And then when it comes to voting, you do vice versa. But that could be
but also commercialization of politics, you people in this country, has become too much. One time I shared with Diana on phone, you are a youth MP, why are you spending over $1 billion in your elections? For crying out loud. These are things, I want to be really very honest. These are things. Now Winnie Kiza, during Winnie Kiza's time or back in the days, do you know that people did not spend as much money as now? And these are things that we need to discuss about. These are honest conversations this country needs to have. You're from university, where am I going to get $1 billion to start giving young people? That is why I ran away from the youth elections. I went to my village where people would understand my vision. You get the point. But also that comes back to the country, the poverty levels, the economic system, the mindset in the country, the mindset. Normally when they start saying this is NRM stock compare, we are young people. Now we've come with stock compare. We need to change the narrative. Next time we do not want to be using a lot of money. Commercialization of politics needs to stop. But that can only start with the head. Do you know that? That can only start from us. Because even down, back the other side, people have now understood money. You do not go to meet a community and you don't give them transport refund. Diana knows. So commercialization of politics is the problem actually.
Okay, thank you. Let me get you to Tracy. Our time is really running very fast. But if you could comment on you as an individual, how do we leverage on collaboration to ensure that we have actually something done?
Starting from collaboration, I want to let me first make a little bit, maybe supplement on Charity's submission on commercialization of politics. Now, I would not like to, when you say Western Uganda, it's a commercialization of politics is on another level. I would, because we would like to understand that most of these leaders, now giving an example of Ntungamo, the first lady, Mama Janet, was a member of parliament in my constituency.
Yes.
The level of financing elections that was there. Now when you come, we actually have a very young woman member of parliament. She's 24 years. She's called Viola.
Yes, I know.
But this lady brought lots of sums of money. So I was wondering, if I was 24, okay, I'm 24, just like the way she is, was I going to manage this competition? Yet, so I'm sorry to say this on national TV, she's not good in my language as I am. I can speak Runyankwale with proverbs. But trust me, people were not going to see that. They were going to see the finances that she has.
The cash.
Yes, the cash that she has. But I'm not going to refuse. Personally, I used money in my district election. Yes. But of course, you cannot compete. And now we have to put the pressure on these people who are running. If you do not have 1 million, please don't talk to me. What are you telling me? Yet, because now that was the new normal that has come, but it's now getting out of hand. It's becoming too much. And now I'm pretty sure in the next 5 years, you people will have already understood the new normal.
They've already
yes. The next time you're going to give them your information, yes, they know you have been in parliament, they know you have, they must have probably felt pity because they know you're from campus, you do not have money, but now they know you're going to harvest for them. So I feel like it is going to be a huge fight because we are fighting with people who actually have they have buildings, they have whatever. But now going back to your question, I think the collaboration still comes with the people we mentor. Number one, I have gone back. I've mentored the female affairs of the female affairs of my sub-county, my parish, my village. At the end of the day, when I'm coming to run, these are actually the people who are going to be doing the well-willing, the work on ground.
Let me cut you short there. Politics is a game of interest, and you know, I keep getting so many thoughts about it. Today you spearhead pushing this person to this level, to this level. Tomorrow they are running against you, or tomorrow they are fighting against you. What alternatives do we build that bond that it shifts from? It shifts from the different interests and appreciating that if Tracy has gone there, I am sure Tracy can deliver as much as I actually want to. How do we build that?
I think or sometimes when we get to these positions, we let people keep on looking at only our positions. When I am the female affairs of Ntungamo district, I'm not encouraging people that, look here, you can run for actually chairperson. You can run for finance. You can run for Western Youth Member of Parliament. We also don't want people to be better than us. That is the first step. And we also don't want people to come for the positions we are in. The same thing we're talking about, we are not encouraging people to actually look further than where we are. We are fighting each other. We feel like when so-and-so gets something, it suffocates you. So I think empowerment, we have to keep on. We've talked about empowerment, but I think we talk about breadcrumbs of it. We do not talk about a large mass of it. Show people that you can run for Entrepreneurs League. Show young people, it's not only for those people who are in business. You only need a qualification of this and this to run for this. So I think we need to look outside the box and show people that it's not to leave their eyes closed to a bare minimum that is here. Let us all look forward and probably aim for higher and encourage people to aim for higher.
Amazing. Let me get to your supplement and
maybe to add on that, I feel like also the best solution for that is collaboration. The same way you are asking about it. Because one thing I want to thank the government, when it looked at affirmative action, they made sure they place women everywhere so that we collaborate. You will find us in the Women League, Women's Council. You find that in business, since we cannot manage maybe the big entrepreneurship and all the big businesses, there will be that PPDA Act that will support women to take the 30% of the procurement contract. You find that we are all over. So in that way, we are collaborating with it. So even us as leaders, if we could collaborate, like she said, how do I collaborate with her? Like me in my election, there was a collaboration of different member of parliaments from their districts, and then our regional youth MPs. Not looking at Diana will be better than me or Lenia will be better than me, but how do we collaborate and deliver together to the young people of West Nile, of Arua, or of Vura? So it comes back, even our seniors, if they could look at us as partners, not competitors, then that would pave a very good way for our future. So the best of it all is collaboration.
Amazing. Let me start with you, Tracy, your parting shots.
My parting shots are, let the ladies, since we are in the Women Month, let us not pull each other down. Let us actually see each other as a blessing of the other. When Lenia is in Parliament, we're together at MOOBS for the 3 years. She was, we were pulling each other. I remember my first show on UBC, it was because of her. And till now, I should not look at her being in Parliament and I feel like, why is she better than me? I should actually feel happy because it was actually an encouragement. I was like, by the way, I have 5 sub-counties in my constituency. Why don't I go there and actually do something better? So we should learn from each other, build each other, promote each other, and at the end of the day, let us empower young women. And the women who are there, please, who are looking at us, if you've been in Parliament, stop pretending that you're empowering people, yet you have been in Parliament for 5 terms, for 4 terms. There is, I don't want to mention a name, there is a woman who was a woman MP since 2001. In Tongamo, and now she has run for direct elected seat. How do you expect a young person like me to now come for a position, yet you are not even leaving power? So if you mean empowering, please mean it. But for the young people, let us pull each other up.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Let me get to Lenia, your parting shots and anything.
For me, it's very important for young women to understand that now we have been given the opportunities. We have the spaces. We have the spaces all over. Yes, we are still fighting for a few here and there, but at least now, compared to the 1990s, very different. We now have the spaces. Right now, I can speak, I can articulate openly, I can say whatever I'm saying, and people, oh, she's a woman and she's in leadership, and it is okay. But how do we consolidate what we already have? It's very important, because at the end of the day, when we seem confused, when we seem disorganized, we are going to miss out on these positions. We already get to know that we have women in spaces of power who still cannot even make decisions up to now. Do you know that?
Yes.
So for me, it is very important, one, as women, we need to become extremely assertive. You need to become, normally they compare characters very much. When a woman is assertive, they will say she's arrogant. You know, when a man is assertive, they say yes, that is a man. Personally, on national TV, I am a very assertive woman, so what I say is not arrogancy. What I say is actually saying that yes, this is what is supposed to be done. But yet again, let's consolidate our spaces. And we can only consolidate our spaces by supporting one another. That is very important, just like she mentioned. But I really need to let people know as well, it is human nature to be selfish. It is only the degree of selfishness. Let us be honest. If my degree is 0.1, then I am going to pull my sister, you know, Diana. If there is an opportunity, I'll say Diana is a very brilliant lady. Let her be the other side, because I know at the end of the day we are going to work together as partners. At the end of the day, we are going to keep pulling the young women as well in these different
spaces. So your degree of selfishness should also be considered a bit. Very important. Let it be at a lesser what? At a lesser extent. Honestly, human